Weathering the weather with Ed. Sometimes he's cranky, sometimes he's goofy, but he's always got a joke. Before I met him, I said meteorology. Hey, guy, that's not for me. But now I'm weathering the weather with Ed.
Hi there. I'm Ed Cohen, I think, right? Right. And welcome back to another episode of somebody who might watch this show. And I've been hurt my hand already trying to get the viewer numbers up. What's the name of the show?
Weathering the Weather with Ed.
Thank you. I just wanted to be sure. And it's an award-winning show. And may I ask you, sir, you just walked in, what award did it win?
The Edward Award.
Wrong. Starts
Cohen
with a C.
Award.
The Cohen
Cohen
Award.
Award.
That is right.
There you go.
There goes your check. All right, the Cohen Award. Yes, it's many times. And, okay, now, you remember, do you remember you?
No.
This is, what's your name again?
Bethany.
This is Bethany. All right. And over here, take a bow, please.
How you doing? I'm Chip Barrett, the Highway Superintendent for the town of Westford.
You know, in the screen, you look like Mark McGuire.
Oh, thank you. I do that on weekends.
Do you really?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I just sit and stare on weekends. So today's topic is winter driving conditions and how to make yourself safe. And I say, don't go out. That works. And thank you for today's show. All right. So why don't you ask some questions here?
Okay, first question, I'm going to start with Eugene Gold. He's from Falls
Church, not Washington, D.C. Yes.
Misunderstanding. Do snow tires do better than all-season road tires in cold weather or snowy weather?
Well, in the cold weather and the snowy weather, the snow tires will outperform a all-season tire. All-season tire is designed for year-round use, and it does a little bit of everything, where a snow tire is specifically designed for snow and to provide you with better traction.
Yeah, but they cost a lot of money.
Well, depends how far you want to go,
Could
or if
you-
you want to
Better
stay
quality.
home.
You
Yeah.
want to put me on receivership there so I get some money to buy them? All right, thank you very much. Next.
All right, Harold Bernard.
Harry, not Bernard.
Bernard.
She just came over on the show.
Bernard.
Go ahead.
Where is he from? Is he from
He's from
Washington?
No, he's from
Falls?
Roswell,
No,
Georgia.
just kidding.
Yes.
Just kidding.
Near Atlanta.
Can you explain the difference of handling a four-wheel drive versus a rear-wheel drive?
A real-world drive, yes.
Wheel drive vehicle in ice and snow?
Yes, Chip, go right ahead.
Yes, a front-wheel drive vehicle actually pulls you through the snow, it's easier to be pulled through than
pushed
pushed.
through.
Push.
Right, that's the rear-wheel drive. The other advantage of the front-wheel drive is if you happen to come against that snowbank at the end of the driveway, your drive wheels will get over it quicker onto the other side instead of the rear-wheel drive trying to push you through it. So
I usually wind up on top.
well,
Which is,
that,
50-50. I say, well,
that's the momentum,
It's a tie.
and usually if you get into that spot, the front-wheel drive will help you out has much more superiority in the snow.
you realize you're using very big words here.
Let me know if they're getting too big for you.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
You can always take up the
What?
dictionary, Ed.
Wow!
Take up the dictionary that you have.
There goes your raise. All right, next question,
Did you
please.
bring in the dictionary?
I don't want to read anything. Go ahead. You're on.
Judy Burke.
Judy Burke.
Pelham, New Hampshire.
Yes.
How much salt has been purchased this year?
That's purchased.
Well, what we
that's
do
what I
in
said.
Westford is we will top off the salt shed. In Westford, treating our streets, we use anywhere from 400 to 4,500 tons of rock salt a year.
Can I ask? Oh, rock? You told me it was kosher.
It could have
works
been blessed, yes.
Yes, it was blessed. It works the same way. Come on, audience,
You know,
jock it up.
actually, what I heard, I don't know if you've... yeah.
4,500, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's a lot of salt.
4,000 to 4,500 tons.
Thank you.
I don't know if you heard this. I forget what town it is, but it's a small town. I don't even know what state it is, but it's a small town somewhere in the United States that they tried to decrease the amount of money that they're spending on salt. So in order to recycle, they were actually using the salt from, I think they said cheese that they were making.
Oh, yes. There are different types of additives that
yeah, and
you
they
can
said
add
they
to it.
saved like millions of dollars just by using that type of salt instead of buying.
Correct. Enhancing the salt with different types of brines. That's the cheese brine. In Westford, we actually use a product called Ice Ban, which is actually a byproduct of beer making.
Wow.
Yeah.
And That is
It's pretty cool. I was very surprised to hear that. I was like,
Yep.
wait, really? So,
And that does
cool.
significantly reduce the salt. When we started using different liquids to enhance the salt, along with the calibration of the truck so we know how much we're putting out, we immediately started to save anywhere from half to a third of the salt we were putting out
wow,
because of the enhancements that we made to it.
well, that's pretty awesome.
What happens if you use Johnny Walker Red? Does that help too? It helps the driver, doesn't it? Makes it
We
more
haven't tried that
Yeah,
yet.
well, I
Ed.
think you should, yes. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
Well,
Next question.
Judy also wants to know, with all the salt, how is the amount purchased decided? How do you decide how much you're going to buy?
Well, it's a product that we put in storage. So we want to make sure that our storage facilities are full and that we keep them full throughout the year so we don't run out. As it gets towards the end of the year, salt supplies usually get scarce. So by keeping that salt shed full throughout the year ensures that we have a supply of salt for that year.
I thought you flipped a coin. But well, should I buy salt or not? I hate it when it lands on its side. Don't you hate
It's
that?
best to keep the salt shed full.
I think so. Remember that.
Oh, keep it
Do you
full.
do you have iodine
Keep
in
it
the
full.
salt, or is that, in case,
Yes.
Yeah, I thought.
Medicinal
yeah.
purpose.
Now,
Yeah.
the amount that you have this year, is it more or less than any previous year?
Nope, we start off with the same amount, full salt shed, probably around, there's probably about 5,000 tons
You didn't
in
use
storage
all of
right
it
now.
last year, did you?
Last year,
We had 6 weeks of
we
stuff,
used
and
about
that
4,500 tons.
Wow.
Yeah, with the snow and ice conditions of last year, I believe our total snowfall for last year was around 88 inches.
Wow.
That must have been on different Westford. Was it? Or maybe it was the year before. It was 88. I thought we were less last year.
Last year was a pretty snowy year.
But yeah, it was yes, it was concentrated in a short period of time. It
Without
came
a
late.
doubt.
It
It
came late.
very late in the season, that's right, yes.
Well, better late than never. No, it isn't because the sun melted. I remember
Like
real winters with a tiller on, snow covered the whole time.
Snow
Of
everywhere.
course, it was the Alps, but that's different.
Yeah.
What do you know? Very good.
Which intersections are the trickiest in bad weather?
Well,
The ones you're trying to cross, right?
correct. And if the intersection involves a hill that you need to try to get
Ooh.
started again, you
Forget
need
it.
to keep those well treated so you have enough traction to keep moving.
The hill on Depot, I tend to avoid that.
The hill on Depot is
That's a thrill.
pretty tricky hill.
I
yes.
tend to, let's go around.
Yes, when you get into the hills going into Westford Center, you could be climbing hills with grades anywhere from 10 to 13%. So they're
Excellent.
pretty steep.
And you go, oh my.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ask
You wake
you
up-
should ask the audience. She drives
Excuse me, would the
from,
audience pay attention here?
from
We
Fitchburg,
actually
and
a
they have
person.
hills, let me tell you. Their hills are
Where?
hilliest city
Where,
deep
Fitchburg?
in Fitchburg. Because I know Depot Street, because I drive on Depot Street. I drive that way to and from work from my house. So I know exactly where it is.
You don't
so
wave.
it's not that bad. You know what I mean? Considering the hills that I've seen, in Fitchburg, they have some
Well, you're
some
going up. to
going
begin
up
with.
like this, you know?
Well, Depot Street's one of our main roads, so it
pretty-
has
yeah.
a lot of traffic on
Well,
it.
coming down, I like it. You have a choice to make. Either skid to the right or go right into the fence that's down there.
The guardrail,
Yes,
sure.
it's very nice.
Yes.
You choose.
I don't want to choose. You choose.
Well, either
Come
or.
on, just keep going. You're doing a
All right.
wonderful job.
Mike Burnham of Nashua, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
He wants to know, how do you defrost your windows when the windows get fogged up on the inside?
Okay, let me say that. You turn on your air conditioner.
That was an easy one.
Thank you. All right?
I think you're in the right area. I'd
Thank
turn
you.
it to defrost.
Yeah.
Well,
That
And-
but works
and,
just as well.
I think that
yeah.
works a little better in the winter.
I like to
Ed.
get frost on the inside.
Oh. But how you defrost them? I would let
They
your
try to
car warm up
Yeah.
properly and turn your defroster on. And do not, for safety's sake, leave until you have clear.
Right.
Until
Well,
you
we
can
can go
see.
out there with this de-icer thing and spray the window.
Yep. That's,
Or what I've seen people driving, they're like, oh no, I see that one spot right over,
Oh,
and
yeah,
they're
I
looking.
got
I'm
it,
like,
I
what are
got
you
it.
doing?
Oh,
yeah.
it's a truck.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't do that here.
Oh no, never.
Nope.
Especially
Always
with
make
the,
sure
the
your car
surrounding
is.
towns near us, never.
Make sure your car is cleared off
No, I like
Because you can get a ticket now for that in
We're
Massachusetts.
leaving it up on top?
For leaving it on top.
I have heard that, especially when you're on the highway, and I'm kind of happy because sometimes I'll drive on the highway, and all of a sudden you get mounds of snow on your car. You can't see anything, and then it's too heavy for your wipers to even push off.
It's
right.
very, it's a very
and then
dangerous
what do you do when
situation.
you're on 495 or
You
you're on
work-
95 on a major highway?
Well,
you know,
it becomes
dangerous.
very exciting.
Very
Yes,
dangerous.
no, it's a ticketable offense now, so make sure your car is cleared off and that you can see out the windows.
That should be obvious to people, but it isn't.
It should be, yes.
It
You would
isn't,
be
though.
surprised.
The human race is not quite mastered this. I mean, a dog would go, wait a minute, we have to clear this off. What are you looking at me for?
So I wasn't looking at you. I was
sorry.
getting.
Oh, really?
yeah, no.
Go ahead.
All right. Our buddy Joe Moran
Why
of
don't we
Green Bay,
use all this
Wisconsin.
because we have to, you have some really exciting stuff there.
Okay, I'll do maybe you want me to do the first three?
Whatever.
I'll skip around. Every other. So Joe Moran, he's a good guy.
Green Bay and Wisconsin.
He actually does watch.
Yes, he
He
does.
sends in questions every time. Thank you,
That's
Joe. #1 fan. He wants to know what is the purpose of applying salt to snow or ice-covered roads, sidewalks, and steps.
Does it taste like a mold?
Well, the idea
I mean-
is to apply the salt in a fashion that it's a concentrated fashion, so it creates a brine, which is actually a salt water from melting the liquids.
We can make corned beef then.
Exactly, same stuff they use in the corned beef.
throw it out
Yes, and that brine will coat the pavement or the steps, so you don't have a bonding of ice to it.
What's the freezing temperature of the brine? You know.
It depends the concentration and what type of chemical it is.
Interesting.
That was a kick save, wasn't it?
It was.
He was really reading the
But
rise and
it creates a
fall.
brine, and it's really not intended to melt the snow. It's to make it easier to remove.
Gotcha. Interesting. Is there a range of temperatures of which road salt is more effective or most effective?
Absolutely. The regular sodium chloride, which is salt,
I didn't know that.
yes,
Thank you.
your brine,
Yeah, my brine.
is most effective around the freezing temperature. As it gets colder, that
That just makes more ice afterwards.
correct.
What do you-
As it gets colder, you need more salt to melt more ice.
There goes your car.
And then once you get down around 21 degrees, that salt really starts to lose its effect. And that's why we use these liquids like the cheese brine
Yeah.
to enhance the salt to make it work better at colder temperatures.
I would have used hot water.
You could have used salt. If you
Yeah,
had, if you
yeah.
had hot water, you could probably use it.
Nice steam job, and then whey!
One pound of salt will actually melt about 46 pounds of ice around 32 degrees.
You want to test that out, Danielle? Our audience is busy eating here. Thank
1
you.
pound of salt around 21 degrees is much less effective.
Wow. Interesting.
Especially if the road has high blood pressure.
That's correct.
High
Yes,
blood
thank
pressure.
you. This is salt, sodium. Yes, go.
What are some alternatives you can use other than salt, especially in places that you either get a lot of snow or are very icy?
Oh, absolutely. We use the ice band product, which is an agricultural byproduct mixed with a calcium chloride, which is another chloride. By using that, either to pre-wet the salt to make the salt work better, or we can actually pre-apply that to the road a day or two before a storm.
Really?
And
And it lasts?
not get the binding effect. But it needs to be done at the certain right temperatures with the humidity and dew points, because all the products that we use to control ice are all hyperscopic,
Wow.
which means that they attract
Water.
moisture.
They attract water.
And you don't want to do that if the temperatures are not conducive to
Well,
refreeze.
makes it nice.
Yeah, 'cause,
You can play hockey
Be
out in the
dangerous.
street.
Correct. So it's very important to know that not only the air temperature, but actually the temperature of the road.
Yes.
And we do that through using a tool like this that'll take the temperature of the road. It'll actually take the temperature of your hand. You're at 91 degrees.
pretty hot.
A little bit low, isn't it? 91? You better go to the doctor.
We have units like this mounted in all our supervisors' trucks, so we can custom blend the salt along with the liquids to make them work better in colder temperatures.
Those things on the highway, they're looking at, they got the temperature. They got the temperature of the road too?
Yeah.
Correct, yes. Across the United States and Canada, there are weather sensors embedded not only in the surface of the road that do the temperature of the road. Most of them also do a temperature of about a foot down below the road surface. They'll also let you know if there's any moisture on the road, and they also do air temperature, humidity, and so forth. That can all be transmitted back to Mass DOT, put on a central computer, and actually there's a computer program that can bring up of all those units, and you can see the road conditions in any of the states that support it.
That's really cool.
I hear Miami
That's
doesn't
it,
have
yeah.
much.
No, Miami doesn't have a lot of those.
No,
Yeah.
no. They're in the
Now,
bar. What do you
in
got?
case
Who-
there's like an event of an emergency, what safety items do you think you should pack in a kit in the event that your vehicle skids off the highway or otherwise becomes stuck in deep snow?
Well, everybody should put together a quick kit for winter, just by getting a duffel bag or something, filling it up with probably the most important thing would be a first aid kit.
Yeah.
Also, it'd be good to have a folding shovel if you get stuck. It's also good to put in there some water, some energy bars.
You have trouble with the water, it might freeze.
It might, but it
Well, that's
also
perfectly fine. You can always sit on it or,
I beg your
well,
pardon.
not like freeze yourself, but there's always put it by the heater, make it warm. Your car will still be running, hopefully.
Sure. Another important thing is to, if you do get
Blanket,
stuck,
definitely.
blanket definitely. But if you do get stuck, also include a maybe some kitty litter or some
I'll try to
sand.
get you out of there.
Yeah.
Either product will work good. The sand is a little bit more heavier and a little bit more grittier, and probably would work a little bit better. The kitty litter is much lighter, easier to handle in the car, and I'd put that in a plastic bag, and you could use that for gaining traction if you go off the road. Break open that.
You better check your tailpipe too.
You better check your tailpipe if
don't
you
like-
get stuck in snow.
We
Yes.
don't like clogged tailpipes with the
Yeah.
engine running.
Better be careful.
Yeah.
They'll feel very warm before you go.
Yes, there are different places like AAA that actually offer for sale a nice winter kit that has all that stuff in it.
Wow.
A flashlight's very important.
Yeah.
And another
I
thing
usually
that's
keep that in my car. Yeah.
very important is keep a spare charger for your cell phone. Because your cell phone, it's almost sure you don't have to say you need a cell phone.
Yeah.
But what'll happen is you have the possibility of it losing its charge.
Yeah.
So always in your winter kit, keep a cell phone charger.
Interesting.
All right.
Very
So we have about 10 and a half minutes to go, and we're down by 20. Oh, that's the Knicks, I'm sorry.
We're going to go or no overtime.
No overtime, because we have other commitments after the game, like drinking.
Do you want
Do I want what?
to continue up with Joe, or you want me to start
Blonde
up,
about
or
25? Yeah.
start up on Alex?
What?
Well, would you
Okay.
like me to finish these or this?
Well, Aaron, what else you got that is exciting?
Well,
Oh, here's one.
what hazards are associated with black ice? And technically,
first
what
of all,
what is black ice?
What-
But I feel
It's a racist comment. That's what it is. And it's so thank you. It was so stupid. They'd call it pink ice if the ground were pink, right? It's ice,
It's
frozen
ice.
water.
that's it.
Reflecting the
Just can't
color
see it.
Color
of
of the
what-
surface
whatever it's
below.
on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I like aqua ice myself because
But black ice is very, very difficult.
It's
A lot of
very,
times when it
very
happens,
tricky.
people don't realize
Oh,
that
I
it's icy.
realize that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you. when I ruptured my quad, I realized it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Not good. I
and,
remember that.
Keeping your speed down on an icy situation is.
You don't know whether it's
is
water or ice.
Correct. So
exactly.
keeping your speed down at any type of winter situation is very important.
You know what I love is these four-wheel drive people.
Why?
Because they think they get through everything.
Well, I have four-wheel drive, and actually, this is the first year I've had it. And the other day, I asked my dad, and maybe some people might think it's a dumb question, but I asked my dad.
Nothing's dumb here.
I asked him, "How do I use it?" how do I use the four-wheel drive?
With the
Because
switch
it's a
on.
button for on and off. And I said, am I allowed to turn the four-wheel on when I'm driving? Or do I need to be stopped? Do I need to be in park? I had a lot of questions. So he sat with me for like 20 minutes on how to use the four-wheel drive. But it's
haven't
very
used
important.
it
Just
yet.
because you have four-wheel drive doesn't mean, you're not going to not hit the black ice. You're still going to hit it.
You're 100% correct. The four-wheel drive will aid you in getting going faster.
Yeah.
But it's not going to
That's not
help you
always
at all to
good.
stop.
Yeah, if you're going yeah, exactly.
Well,
you're
when you
gonna,
hit- when you
you're
hit
gonna
the
lose
tree, it
control.
helps
You're gonna
too.
lose control. There's nothing you can
Correct.
do.
These
And
people go
what you-
gunning by you because you're going too slow. You're playing it the way you're supposed to.
And if you find yourself in a situation where you do start losing control, the worst thing you could do is apply the brakes hard.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is actually,
Isn't it like slide into it?
well,
Or-
if
you
you
put
start
it
to
in-
slide,
how
always
about in
slide the
low?
car into it. But yeah,
can put it
Ed,
in
you're
low.
right. Start downshifting
Really?
your transmission. Do not apply the brakes. Apply the brakes very softly, but try to keep your feet off
Would you
them.
want to pump the brakes or
No.
No, just
you
apply
want
soft.
very soft,
Okay.
but you're better off not using the brakes at all and
Don't use them.
trying to steer clear of whatever obstacle could be in the way. If you are on a skid, turn into that skid and downshift like Ed has recommended. Those
You know,
are,
I use the L coming down the hill on Depot.
Yes.
Just even if it's dry, I do it anyway. What are you laughing about?
Saves your
Nothing.
brakes.
Does, yeah.
Yeah.
The other people, all right, let's stay on the brakes here so I can eat them. Yeah, I love
no
the
point,
people
yeah.
who go, let me be on there, let me be off, let me be on there, well, if I crying out loud, will you? Right? Don't you just love those
You're
people?
absolutely right.
Just
And then
put
when
it
they
in
go up
an
to
L
your
and
car and-
take your time going, yeah, right.
Very close to you. Yeah.
Take your time.
Great.
That's right. Watch what you're sliding into. Take your time. Get the camera out on the phone. No, don't do that. But do it if you want. So we have a 6:32 left in the period. We're down by 19. We're making headway.
So
Anything else exciting?
we can answer some of these. Alex Robertson of Manchester, New Hampshire.
Yes.
He wants to know, why does black ice form on bridges first? I actually didn't.
Oh, Alex, you took my class.
Last Sunday morning, there was quite a problem out in Worcester. And
You mean I-290?
I-290, yes.
It was only 50 vehicles.
Yes, the elevated portion of the road is actually a bridge deck. And what happens
What a
is
shame.
the moisture would fall on it. Even the wet surface from being foggy could form a black ice.
Yeah.
And the temperature was conducive to the ice forming. And it'll form quicker on bridges because the air can go on the bottom
Goes underneath the cooler
and on the
also.
top. So
It's double trouble.
you really got to
double
watch out
trouble.
on those type of surfaces.
Was that at the curve?
I think it was just before the
Holy- oh,
curve
but that's
by
really-
Rodman's.
Oh, we have a sale.
The Rodman's Furniture, yeah. that
by,
right.
by Holy Cross, it's very exciting. You can sit there. Oh, look, here's one coming.
That's why it's important to always treat the roads and
And
treat
the
the roads
other
with
problem was it had been quite cold.
It had been quite cold.
See, it's true because
One of the things that can happen is after you treat the road, it could refreeze.
yeah.
If that solution that has turned into a brine dilutes itself by water being added to it from either rain or other precipitation, you can have a refreeze also.
And of course they said there'd be a shower or a flake. Yeah, right. Right, and then, it'll be nothing going on this afternoon. So that's why we kept having periods of rain, and then we had drizzle going on. But the 2-second breaks.
Still wet outside.
Yeah.
Still wet.
Correct. In Westford, we treated all the streets in the morning with the black ice conditions. As the morning progressed, the rain picked up, as you remember, Ed, and then we went back out and we retreated all the main roads so to hold us through the day. We actually had a slight refreeze because the ground was so cold that evening, and we had to send additional units out treating the roads again that night.
Yeah, areas that don't get much. That's good English.
Well, I said, wow.
What?
Wow, I didn't know
areas
it would
areas
refreeze.
that don't get much sunlight are more likely to get this. Yes, sir, to get it freezing because the
Absolutely.
ground's cold because it doesn't have any sunlight, not enough. Yes.
Yeah. There's a road right near my house. It's very, very windy. Horrible.
Make a note. Road near our
Horrible.
house. Write it down.
Horrible. What
Well, he's in Westford. He ain't coming over. What's the matter with you?
Oh no, but it's it's right.
Well, you want to come
right
over?
there.
She has good food.
What, I'm cooking for everybody?
Why not?
Guess
Bobby?
what? I don't
time
cook.
We'll bring pizza.
Good idea. I don't like pizza, but
Kosher
that's
salami?
okay.
Kosher pork? I don't think so.
No, I don't eat pork either. I'm a very picky eater.
Well, there ain't no kosher pork unless you know something
I'll
we
drink
don't
some
know.
coffee.
Yeah, oh,
What
coffee.
compound do they put on roads to keep them ice-free?
Oh, that would be the
would still be the
different
salt and the
chlorides, right?
chlorides, yeah,
and
exactly.
again, we use the salt. Magnesium chloride is another chemical we use, and calcium chloride is another chemical. That,
Gotcha.
I find them
that
both
helps.
quite tasty.
Very salty, yes.
Yeah, but you know,
Ed, this is a good question for you. What's the difference
I'm
between
sorry, I'm just sitting here. What
what's
is
the
it?
difference between a nor'easter and a blizzard?
Nothing. If the nor'easter is stronger,
That's it?
then it can be blizzard. That's all.
There's no difference?
It's the
Well,
intent.
very little
I
difference.
choked to death here, please. No, medic. Oh, yes. Look into my eyes. If it's a stronger, I mean, the nor'easter means the winds from the northeast. If it's really intense, wow. Intense storms, the winds are stronger, and you know it doesn't have to have a lot of snow come down. Your visibility is reduced. And I just happened to hum a little bit. I just happened to have the definition. Would you hum, please? All right, I got it here somewhere. Put on a commercial. Oh, we're
Which one?
commercial free. I got Blizzard. Hold on.
While you look,
Nobody looks at
for that, can I go to the next?
No, sure.
All right.
Oh, here it is.
Question.
Blizzard. It's issued for a combination of strong winds averaging or frequently gusting to or above, ladies and gentlemen, 35 miles an hour, and very low visibility due to blowing or falling snow. Whatever very low means, because we like to get this. I don't know. It must be written by the government. It is. These are the most dangerous. Did you hear me? Dangerous winter storms, and can be especially severe when combined with temperatures below 10 degrees. You bet your bippy.
Minute and 30
Yes,
seconds.
I'll tell you.
And it has to be sustained for a certain amount of time, am I correct? Those winds?
Well, I think it was,
I
but
would think,
this
yeah.
is actually National Weather Service
Yeah.
terms used.
And the visibility, I believe, is a quarter of a mile less.
But they don't want to be too exact at the National Weather Service. They got to cover everything
I just want to give you a little.
a little bit, so you'll come back and throw out the rest of it.
Samantha Pearl from Hollis, New Hampshire. She wants to know, is it safer to drive very slow or at moderate speed?
No, I would,
or the speed limit on
wouldn't you
a
hit the accelerator?
snow-covered road.
I'd hit the accelerator and take off.
Actually, that'd be the exact wrong thing to do, Ed.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
I
Complete
know that.
opposite.
The motto of Public Works is go slow in the snow.
Ladies and gentlemen, write that down. I'm going to put
And
that
if
on
you
the back
follow,
of my
if
car.
you follow that advice, you should not get in trouble.
Why would she want
If
to
you
go
go,
middle?
go too fast, you're going to be in big trouble.
Even if you go, if anybody's ever taken driver's
1
ed
8
classes and you've ever taken the test
don't.
clearly states when you're driving on a road, the speed limit doesn't matter. It depends on the weather conditions.
Right.
If it's snowing outside, I'm still not going to go 50 on a main road. You know?
We have 13 seconds to go. This is our final show of the year. Yes, I know you're all crying about that. We have
We're
to go to
very sad.
Honolulu and apply some salt at the bar. And there are 2 shows that haven't been put out
Tequila.
yet. It's on indoor air quality, and what was the other one?
Outdoor quality?
We did that already.
Indoor, outdoor, aviation, weather.
Aviation weather, yes.
That was good.
All right. So be looking for those. And remember, I'm tired with my hand trying to get viewers. So that's
Tired of clicking that button. We've got to get you
why-
guys to come
You know how
watch
many times
us.
I can do that in one day? All right, so.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no,
Appreciate it.
Thank
thank
you
you.
for coming.
It's always
Thank
a
you for
pleasure,
coming.
yes.
Sorry you had to deal with him. Nice to meet you, though.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, we didn't introduce you. Come out here and pan the audience.
Weathering the weather with Ed. Sometimes he's cranky,
Hello.
sometimes he's goofy, but he's
wait.
always got a joke. Before I met him, I said meteorology. Hey, guy, that's not for me. But now I'm weathering the weather with Ed.